Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nancy and I am Sew Cozy Stitching. I am also Sew Cozy Stitching on Instagram if you'd like to follow me there. Excuse me. Today is January 4th, 2021, and I am here to show you all of my whips that I have. So this is going to be a whip parade and maybe plans at the end, depending on how long this video is. If not, I am going to do a separate video with my plans for 2021. Okay, so I hope everybody had a good Christmas. The day after I finished, or the day of that I did my last video, that evening I got sick. So yeah, it was about a week. I was really yucky. It wasn't COVID. I just had a head cold. Mostly it was, my nose was really stuffy and runny. I went through a box of Kleenexes in a couple of weeks. It was crazy. And I still have the same effects. So I might have to pause this video to blow my nose. I don't feel yucky anymore. And I never had a fever, but it is what it is. I just feel lucky because this is the first time I have been sick since I quit my job a year and a half ago. So not working with the public has really cut back on me ever getting sick. We had a good Christmas. My kids came over and my grandkids, and it was just a nice relaxing day. We had dinner and opened presents, and they visited for a while, and it was fun. And then my husband was home on vacation he got home the day before Christmas Eve, so the 23rd, and he left out for work again on January 1st. So he was home for a week. We did nothing. We stayed home most of the time. We put some puzzles together. I think we put 4 or 5 puzzles together, maybe 6. I'm not sure. We did a lot of puzzles, and that was fun. And I did a lot of stitching. So it was nice, and yeah, it was good. So my lighting is horrible. On this wall over here, it's almost all windows, and I'm getting plantation shutters put on them, but they have to order them because they're custom made, and so it's really light in this room. And today is really cloudy, and the wind is blowing here in southern Idaho. We're supposed to get rain today. We'll see. We didn't have a white Christmas. I think they said this was like the first year in like 4 or 5, 6 years we didn't have a white Christmas. So yeah, the lighting's not that great, but I'll do my best to show you what I have. So I started this book last year. I've been trying for a few years, trying to find a way that I could keep track of my whips. My problem is, my cross stitch and everything else. I do have a book I keep my quilting in. Once it's finished, I take a picture and kind of write down the information and stuff. But I've tried different things with my cross stitch, and it seems like I'm really good for a couple of months, and then it's just like I'm not anymore. Anyway, I had this notebook, so I thought I'm going to try it in here. So I have a section in here for cross stitch, and I have a section for quilting. So I just kind of divided it in half. And I'm doing kind of the same thing with my quilting as I'm doing with my cross stitch. I wrote down quilts I went into 2020 with, and I've crossed off which ones I finished and which ones had the tops done but hadn't been quilted. And anyway, so I did the same thing with my cross stitch. I wrote down all the whips I went into 2020 with, and as I finished them, I highlighted them. And then I had a page where I wrote down all my starts, and then I also highlighted those on ones that I have finished. And then I also wrote down my finishes. And so January, and I wrote down all my finishes for January. Then we got February, and I wrote all my finishes for February, and so on. And then I also had a page for everything that I fully finished in 2020. Okay, sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. Anyway, so my math is not adding up. I'm going to give you my stats for 2020. My math is not adding up because I think I forgot one. And I have tried to figure out which one it is, and I don't know. So going into 2020, I had 11 WIPs. Of the 11 WIPs, I finished 9 of them. So the 2 WIPs I have, one was started in 2018 and one was started in 2019. The one that started in 2018, I have really no excuse why I have not worked on it, other than I just haven't worked on it. I think shiny new stuff comes out and yeah, it gets me. The one for 2019, I worked on it some this fall. I need to get it done because it's a series. It's the last in the series, and I need to get it done. So I'm going to try really hard to get both of those WIPs done in 2021. So I had, in 2020, I had 49 starts and 30 finishes. And of the 49, I finished 30 of them. So I had a total of actually 39 finishes in 2020 because I had the 9 that I finished. See, and like I said, I'm missing one because I have 30 finishes, and the ones that include the carryovers would be 30 is 39. Anyway, whatever. You don't care about my stats, really. So anyway, going into 2021, I have 23 WIPs. I have already had one finish. And the reason I've had one finish is because it was a stocking. I tried and tried and tried to get it done on the 31st of December. I did not finish it because there was just it did look like a whole lot of stitching, but there was a lot of fiddly stitching and color changes. So my one finish for 2021 so far is one of the stockings that I had been working on, and it was finished in the afternoon of New Year's Day. All right, so let's get into my WIPs. I'm going to show you my oldest WIP first. It is called Shepherd's Sampler by Brenda Gervais. I love this chart. I loved it since the first time I saw somebody show it on a Flosstube back in 2018, and I went and ordered it. So, I mean, if that tells, I don't know why I have not got this back up to work on it, but I will finish it in 2021. Full disclaimer, I have ironed everything, but I didn't iron it perfect. I just got the majority of the wrinkles out. You're also going to hear me crinkling and zipping and everything else because as I'm pulling stuff out, I'm going to put stuff back in so that I stay organized. Okay. This is where, well, I would help if I showed it to you, right? Okay. This is where I'm at. I think the reason I have not worked on this is that grass. Look at all that grass. But I like it. I really like this chart. So I am going to get this finished this year. I'm stitching this on a piece of 14 count Aida that it looks like I writ dyed it, but it's really pretty. It is really, really pretty. So with number 1. All right. This is my second to the oldest WIP. And it is, oh goodness, I thought I had these in there so they'd be easy to pull out. Is Automaker's Farm by Hands On Design. I'm not enjoying it. That's why it didn't get finished. I did make myself work on it a little bit. And I got this section done this fall, but I'm not enjoying it. But I have the other 3 done, and so I really want to finish this so I can just display, change them out every year. So the one that is for the summer stays there until I put the December or the winter one out in December. This is where I'm at. So I've got a lot done on it. I don't have a whole lot to finish, just right here and then on this side and then the top part, and then it will be done. This is being stitched on a piece of 14 count Aida that I dyed myself. I think I used pearl gray and I just left it in there to get it darker. And I love this Aida. It's not stiff, but it's kind of thick, kind of like Monaco. And I have no idea where I got it. You're also going to see as we're going along that I have in 2020, I still stitch on 14 count. I still love 14 count. I think it's easy to work on. But I did switch to some 18 counts, so you're going to see that. Okay, now the rest of the WIPs are in no particular order. I'm just going to pull them out and show you. The next one I have is Halloween at Hollyberry Farms by Stacy Nash. I started this in October. And I converted the threads to DMC, and I'm stitching this on 18 count Aida, 1 strand of thread. The fabric is called Witching Hour by Seraphim Fabrics, 18 count. I guess I started this October 7th. So in all my projects, I keep it's just an index card that I cut in half, and I can write, I write the pattern name, who it's by, the day I started, the fabric that I used, and then I write any additional information. This one says I'm subbing out DMC, most of my own colors. Flowers will be $9.39, as will other elements as I see fit. So there you go. Anyway, this is where I'm at on it. I finished the house, so the house is completely finished. And that house, I was always, as I was stitching, I was thinking, oh, it's not showing up, it's not showing up. It does show up. When you look at it, it does show up. It is kind of hard to see here, but it does. And I absolutely love this. I love the 1 strand of floss on this and the coverage of it. It looks really good. So I'll pull this one out again, probably September. I'm going to, probably around September is when I'll pull it back out. Okay, the next one I have is Olga's Stocking. And let me see if I can find my project card so I can give you the info. It is being stitched on, this is Olga's Stocking by Plum Street. I started October 1st. It is being stitched on Caramel by Seraphim Fabrics. Called for DMC, I'm subbing in 920 and 3776 for some of the pumpkins. I thought the DMC colors for the pumpkins was too brown. So even this one that looks bright orange, it was it was a funny color. So, and this is where I'm at. So I made quite a bit of progress. I only worked on this one and Halloween at Holly Berry Farm in October. And I think those are the only two, other than I was working on a stocking. But I think those are about the only two I worked on that month. So I got quite a bit done. Love it. The pumpkin, this pumpkin right here was supposed to be more of this color, which was more of a rust color, and I wanted it orange. And I think it looks pretty good. I am stitching this with one strand of floss. I have found that Seraphim fabric is, I can use one strand of floss and it gives me a good amount of coverage on it. All right, next one is, I don't know why I didn't get this one finished, other than I just wasn't enjoying it. Tom Turkey by Heart and Hand. And it's on a piece of scrap vintage country mocha, 14 count, and that's what I have done with him. I am using Victorian Motto Sampler Threads Old Russet is what I'm using for him. So, oops. There we go. And I thought I'd get them done in November, but I wasn't feeling it. I think I was thinking I was going to work on kind of Thanksgiving type stuff in the month of November, and then I don't know, I just want to stitch on Christmas. So I started a lot of winter and Christmas projects. This next one being one of them. Let's see if I can find my project card so I can give you this information. Get it on my bag here. I don't think I've shown this one. This is the Third Day of Christmas Sampler and Tree by Hello from Liz Matthews. And I'm doing this one. When I saw this, I just loved the chicken standing on the house. So that's why I got the pattern. It is being stitched. I started this on November 10th. It is being stitched on a piece of driftwood by Color and Cotton, 18 count, using all of the called for DMC fabric or floss. And this is where I'm at. Stitching on that big chicken. I don't know. I didn't enjoy this as much as a lot of my other Christmas ones I did. But I thought it would be kind of a quirky little thing to have stitched up. Maybe I'll make it into, I don't know if I'm going to frame it or make it into a wall hanging or what I'm going to do with it. All right. The next one is, see, I'm surprised when I open these up as you are. This one is Liberty's Welcome. By Plum Street Samplers. I started this, I'm thinking in July of 2020. I don't have the month written down. It is on a piece of Vintage Sampler by Victorian Motto on 18 count. And I am doing it in the called for DMCs. And this is where I'm at. I didn't take this out of the Q-snaps because there you go. That's it. And this is a restart. If you watch my previous videos, you will see that I started this in, I think, December of 2018. And I started it on a piece of 14 count fabric that I had dyed, and I did not like the fabric. And I had the entire house pretty much completed, plus half of the grass at the bottom. And this summer, I restarted it. and I like this fabric a lot better. All right. The next one is Summer Jubilee. I only have my working copy. I don't have a regular picture in my bag with me. So I think this is because this is out of a magazine. So it's Summer Jubilee by Blackbird Designs. I started this in July of 2020, and I'm using a piece of fabric called, it's 14 count Ada Misty Blue, and I'm using my own DMC conversions. And this is where I'm at. So, yeah, and I have loved every minute of stitching this. And like I said, I'm using my own DMC conversions. I'm kind of looking at the picture and then picking my own threads that are close to it. So, love it. Can't wait to get back to working on this one. All right. The next one is these three. And I'm counting each one of these, I'm counting each one of these as their own little finish. You know, or start and finish. So we've got Long May She Wave, Home of the Brave, and Land of the Free. And they have the floss. These are the ones where you buy the floss pack and the chart comes with it. I am stitching these, all three of them will be stitched on Heroic 14 count by Picture This Plus. And this is where I'm at. And I really don't have an excuse of why I haven't finished this one. I think the reason I haven't is because I still am trying to decide how I want to finish them. Because a lot of times I won't start something even though I really want to do it, because I don't know how I want to finish it. So I don't start it, because when I start something, I really want to have an idea of how I'm going to finish it. Otherwise, it just sits in my drawer of shame. I call it my drawer of shame because I cross stitch things and then they just sit in there. So I will get this one finished. I'm going to get all three of these finished this year. So I really like it. And I think I've been toying with some ideas of how I'm going to finish it. We will see if that happens. All right, the next one. I love this chart. Love, 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 love this chart. Oh, there's my paper. Okay, this is American Farmhouse by Stacy Nash. Wrong! American Farmhouse by The Scarlet House. I am stitching this on, I started this in late spring. I don't have the exact date. I'm stitching this on a piece of 14 count Ada with the called for DMCs. I have a question mark because I think it might be called Dirty Ada, but I'm not 100% sure. And this is where I'm at. Let's see. It's not behind it. I love this one, and I'm so close. I have the pot here to do the house, and then just a little bit more of that grass, and then I am done. So I am going to frame this one and put it in my living room. I love it, love it, love it. So excited to get back to this one. Really excited to get back to that one. All right, the next one is well, the Sheep Virtues. By Low House Needleworks. And this is the one I am currently working on. Is that one. And these are what I have left to do. So I have done 6 of them. I'm working on my 7th one. I do know how I'm going to finish these. I'm going to show you my finished ones first. Okay, so the first 6 I did on 14 count vintage country mocha. Those are the first ones. And I know how I'm going to finish this, the whole thing. So I'm doing these on 2 different counts of fabric. So 14 count vintage country mocha, there's kindness, patience, faith, simplicity. These 2, you notice, are stitched together in one long piece. And so are these. This one is hope and peace. And then I stitched this because this is going to be part of the finishing. So I started these on May 1st, 2020, as part of a stitch along. There's a Facebook group for it. So Vintage Country Mocha 14 count, and then the rest of these that I have to stitch are going to be stitched on Vintage Country Mocha 18 count. So they are a little bit smaller. These ones I am doing 1 strand of floss on the smaller ones. So I want to get these finished. These are so easy. I can sit down in an evening and get the majority of one of them done. So I just need to get back to them so I can get them fully finished. All right, the next one, this is probably my 3rd oldest WIP. I don't even know when I started this. I think I started this maybe in January. This is February by Prairie Schooler. I am doing the big one. I have 6 of these done. I have January, March, July, September, November, and December done. And I'm working on February. And I think when I started this one, this is on 14 count lamb's wool, which is the called for fabric. Not the count, but the called for fabric. And I was going really good on this. And I ran out of a floss color. And so it kind of, I think what happened is COVID hit. I ran out of a floss color. COVID hit. I couldn't get to the store to get it. So it got put away and I haven't touched it since. So I need to get back to this one. This is one I will probably get back to sooner rather than later because I want to get it done and then I can start another one. I want to finish up that series. Okay. The next one is, let's see, Winter Rose Manor, which everybody is stitching, and I don't see my project card for this one. There it is. Winter Rose Manor. I am stitching it on, I started this on the 27th of November. This was supposed to be my Thanksgiving start. It ended up being my day after Thanksgiving start. I am stitching on a piece of, my fabric is not right on here, because it is a piece of 18 count Ada that I dyed myself. And if you go back and watch my video, the one before Thanksgiving, I explained what I did and I got strings hanging. This is where I'm at. So I started this on the 27th of November, got the roof and entire roof done. And then I didn't pick it up for almost a month. And the week between Christmas and New Year's, I picked it up and started stitching the house. I have found that if I see this all over Instagram and Facebook and people's videos, if I see something, then I tend to put mine up and not stitch it. So this will get pulled out possibly this winter and worked on. I am using my own thread conversion, and the color I chose for my house, so mine's a combination of DMC floss and Victorian model threads. And my house is Very Light Peach by Victorian Motto. And if I'm going to compare it to a color of DMC, I'm going to say it is compared to 224 DMC. So, and my fabric, I don't even know the colors I used. I do know that the picture makes it look kind of like a greenish brownish color, the picture or the fabric, and that's what I went. So that's kind of, I dyed it to get that color. So anyway, it looks really good on it. All right, the next one, I keep saying the next one. This one was my birthday start. And I am absolutely loving it. It is Noel Sampler by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I am loving every minute of this. I am stitching it on 14 count. Oh, I do want to say on Winter Rose Manor, I am using 2 strands of floss because when I was stitching the roof, I didn't think it had enough coverage. And I mean, it did if you want kind of a more of a prim look, but I have waited for this for 2 years to come out. And because I've absolutely loved it. And so I really wanted my colors to just really pop. So I am using 2 strands on this one. All right, so I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida that I hand dyed by me using all of the DMC floss. And I started this on my birthday, which was December 6th. And that is where I'm at. It is, I don't know what color, I think I used maybe pearl gray to Rit dye it, and then I dunked it in tea and coffee. I gave it a tea and coffee bath, just a quick one. And when I do my dyeing, okay, let's see if I can get this. There we go. When I dye my fabric, I use hot water, straight hot water. Put a little bit of dye in there, stir it up, dunk a corner of my fabric in it to see what I think. I don't put mine in the oven, even when I tea and coffee dye it. I have been tea and coffee dyeing for like 30 years, my fabric, and I have never put it into the oven. And then when I saw that, when I did watch Fauna's tutorial, and she does the bake and base method, and then Priscilla, how she does hers, I tried it and I don't like it. I just don't like it. So I just put mine in a tea and coffee bath, and then I just hang it outside and let it dry. So anyway, I love this one. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Then we have Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House. How appropriate for 2020. And I started this in August of 2020. I am stitching this on aged paper, 18 count by Color and Cotton. I am using the DMC conversion, and I am stitching it with one strand of thread. Do not have a whole lot done on that. I really would like to have this one done by the end of March. I don't know if that will happen. But, you know, I'm not going to put anything about COVID. I know some people have put, you know, on the front, they've stitched something about COVID on it. I'm not. I will probably write, I put these little index cards on the back of my samplers, and I will probably just write a little, my version, you know, how I felt about it and everything on the back there, and just stick on the back of it, because I will frame this one. Love it. So cute. And then I jumped on the bandwagon with Coming to America. I got the whole kit. I bought it from Shepherd's Bush. I had them kitted up for me. So I got everything. All the floss, all the fabric. I'm using the 18 count Vintage Country Mocha, which is the called for fabric. I started this on September 6th, worked on it almost exclusively through the month of September, sorry. Then I put it away because I wanted to do some Halloween fall stitching. And plus I was really burnt out on it because of all the green. My least favorite color in the entire world is green. And all of those names and the majority of the border is stitched in some shade of green. And I was tired of words. I just was tired of it. So my women have not yet arrived at Plymouth Rock. I did pull it back out in November and worked on it a little bit until about the middle of November, and decided I really wanted to work on Christmas. So my plan is, if I do not pick this up before, I will pick it up again on September 6th and stitch on it until it's completed. So there you go. Okay. All right, this one is called A Stitching Life by Heartstrings Samplery. I have loved this since I first saw it. Love it. There is another one that I have kitted up that is by With Thy Needle and Thread that I think would be a perfect companion to this one. So I would like to get this finished and then stitch the other one so I can hang them here in my sewing room. It says, I could use a little more stitching in my life. Can't y'all? This one is, I started September 1st for Sampler September, and it is on, 14 count parchment. And I have a whole lot done. Didn't get a whole lot done because I was working on Women of the Mayflower. So I want to get this one done so I can start the other one and then get them both framed and hang them in my sewing room. All right, what is in this bag? I love, this is one of my favorite bags. I order a lot of bags from Diddly Dally Designs. Her bags are probably my favorite. This is Needle and Thread by Brenda Gervais. And I don't know where my paper is. It is on, look at that. Look at the hips on that woman. This is where I'm at. So I didn't take this out of the Q-snaps because you could see everything here. So I'm just about ready to move my Q-snaps. I think she has some little spools here, and I gotta fill in there. I'm gonna get back to this one really soon because, well, like I said, there's a lot of grass there at the bottom. But I think I can get this one done pretty quick. It is stitched on a piece of 14 count mallow by Picture This Plus. And I think this is actually the called for fabric. It is. Oh, mallow. Mallow, sorry. Yeah. So she's being stitched on the called for fabric. That doesn't happen very often with me. You hear my dog? Okay. And the next one is Hibernation Day by Heartstring Samplery. Trying to find the project card. I don't have one in here, looks like. This was started, I think, the end of November, if I'm not mistaken. And it is being stitched on a piece of 14 count Wren by Picture This Plus. And I'm sorry, but there's strings on this one. That is where I'm at. I am using, sorry, I use Q-snaps, and so when I get to where I can't stitch anymore in the Q-snap and I still have strings, I just leave them hanging so I can just pick them back up. I am using most of the called for threads, with the exception of the red. The red I'm using Schoolhouse Red. And the green, I'm using Piney Woods for the dark green, which is called for. And then for the words, I wanted a different green. So I'm using please. I should have been better organized, I guess. I'm using Grasshopper by Weeks Dye Works. And then I think this is Old Hickory. So I ordered more because I wasn't going to have enough to like do all the deer and everything. And when I got the Old Hickory in, mine was more green than brown. Or when I started out, the one I was using was more brown. So the closest color to this number is 612, I think. Yeah, 612. So my deer are done at 612. But anyway, everything else is called for. And again, sorry for the strings. And I love this. I absolutely love this. This is going to be one of my focus pieces for January because I have promised the pattern to somebody on Instagram. So I need to get it done. All right. The next one, I don't have a picture other than a picture of the quilt. There it is. I don't have a picture of the quilt in here. So this is the Prim Stitch series by Lori Holt. And this is kind of I didn't have a New Year, day start this year, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I am going to stitch each one a month, and I'm going to make each block a month for 2020. So I have been working on the border of it. I was hoping to have the border done by the end of January or by the end of December. It did not happen, but I have enough blocks completed. I can start stitching in there. I haven't started January's yet, but I'll get to it. Again, I used a Q-snap, so these are the strings that were left when I got to the where I couldn't stitch anymore because of the Q-snap bar. So nothing exciting there. All right, and that is my morning stitch. So I stitch, it's my, I stitch a minimum of 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes in the morning up to sometimes it's a couple of hours. It just depends on how early my morning starts. So that's what I work on in the mornings, and I'm going to continue to work on that in the mornings. All right, the next one, this is one I was hoping to have finished. This is Winter Typography by Pine Mountain Designs. I had a stitchy friend give this to me for my birthday, and we both started this on December 21st, the first day of winter. I am using, she kitted it up for me, so, well, with the threads. So she put all the threads in there. I'm using all of the called for threads with the exception of red. Red was not in the chart. And I think I'm using 815 for the red. But I wanted red in mine. And I'm using all the call for flosses, but I'm not necessarily putting them in the right spot. I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit. This is just a piece of 14 count Aida that I think it was, I dyed it aqua and then put it in a tea coffee bath, I think. So I thought it actually is really close to these two colors, just a lot lighter. Loving it. So that was one I was hoping to have finished up by the first of the year and didn't get it done. Or no, I was hoping to have it finished before today. Didn't get it done. All right, and two more to show you. This one was my New Year's start last year in 2020. My New Year's start for 2020 is the Farmhouse of Hopkin Hollow. And I am stitching this on a piece of 14 count vintage country mocha. And I know how I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna have my husband make something for me. So I want to get it done this year. And this is a big piece. There's where I'm at. So when I first started it, my plan was to stitch a block a month. And I actually did really good because I think I got all 4 of these done. And then this one would have counted as 2 blocks. And I think by the end of June, I had most of this done. I have worked on this. I started this. I picked this back up New Year's Day. And New Year's Day, I have stitched the 2 men, these 3 pigs, or these 3 pigs right here, and the cow, and a little bit of the grass down here. So by the time when I put this up, I probably was completely caught up on it. I love it. You notice I have left this blank because I wasn't sure what I was going to put in here. I have now decided what I'm going to put in there, so I just need to go in and chart it out. So anyway, this I want to get done this year. So this is kind of, I'm working on this. I've been working on this block to get it done. And this is a big piece of fabric. Big piece of fabric. But I love it and enjoying it. And my last WIP. all I have is my printed one, because this was a PDF download. So that's all I have and then I wrote copy on here because I bought this and apparently I really, really liked it because I bought it again. And when I went to put this one in my file cabinet under Pineberry Lane, I noticed I had one in there. So I just wrote copy on this one so I could use it as my working copy. So I do have another one in my file cabinet. And this is stitched on a piece of 14 count. I think this is called Dirty Ada. I don't think the other one was. No, I don't know what this is because this is almost like fiddler's cloth. If you remember, a lot of people stitched on fiddler's cloth back in the day. And this looks like it, only it's gray. It has the little flecks of, that's where I'm at. It does say home up here, which is stitched over one. I'm either going to rechart it and put home here or just not put it in at all. I haven't decided. I'm just filling in the house. So there you have it. There is my WIPs. Okay, so I will come back and I will do a video with my plans. And yeah, so I think that's it. That's all my WIPs. So thank you for joining me today. And if you're interested in my plans, come back. I'll have a video. It'll be today or tomorrow that it will depend on how fast this video uploads. It may be tomorrow before you see my plans, but I'll be back, and then I think I'll be back next week. We will see how it goes. It's hard for me to, that's why I was so late at doing the video for my WIP parade, because it's so hard for me to film, because if my husband's home or the grandkids are home, it's really hard to film to get some privacy. And so anyway, you'll see me, yeah, so anyway, I will do a regular video next week, hopefully sometime next week, to show you my updates of what I have worked on this week. So I'll be back with my plans, and so hopefully you'll join me, and we will see you later. Bye.